Okay, I got a lot of updates I need to say. This new segment might run a little bit longer than I usually let it run. But anyways, I want to talk about in my last video I done about the murder of Wynesha Medley. We actually have an update for that. They actually arrested the guy that's accused of killing her. They arrested John Paget at his home in Port Wentworth by Metro Police and charged with her murder. Now, this murder actually happened on Mercy Boulevard on Tuesday, January the 24th, in that it's that apartment complex right next to, well, really right behind Publix. It's on the south side, and I'm glad they got this guy off the street, so you don't have to worry about hurting anybody else again. And I also was some ladies that was commenting on my YouTube video, and I didn't know her personally, but by the way of how people was talking about her on my last video, it seemed like she was a nice and loving person. So I just want to say rest in peace to Wynesha Medley, condolences to the Medley family and to her friends, because she seemed like she was a loving person. I'm glad this guy's off the street, like I said again, and I'm no judge or no lawyer, but more than likely he gonna spend the rest of his life in jail, if not 30 years. So I just had to give this update out. Now, speaking of other homicides, I never talked about this. This homicide actually happened in 2015 in August, of the murder of Lawrence Bryan IV that happened on Duane Court. They actually caught the killer. Actually found out who killed him, because actually how they're saying it is that he was already arrested in Jessup, Georgia. But they actually got Timon Hooper. He's 25 and charged with the murder of killing Lawrence Bryan in 2015. Now, he is the son of Linda Wilder Bryan. She was a former candidate for Savannah alderman back in, I believe, last year. She was going for that. And more about her, what I know about her, my mom knows her because my mom used to work for the Chatham County Jail, and so did Linda. She worked for the Chatham County Jail as well. So when her son died, my mom actually went to Lawrence Bryan. They call him LB. She went to his funeral. So I'm glad that they got this guy off the street. And Miss Linda, she's a real well-spoken lady. She's I follow her on my Facebook, so it's possible that I could actually interview her. I know it'll be a sensitive subject, but it's possible because my mom knows her, and we know some people in between each other. Plus, I follow her on Facebook, so I probably could interview her and see what's going on with that. But she's a well-spoken lady, and she was saying in our lifetime this is important in our lifetime. I may not live tomorrow, but I know that they have him, the person they believe killed our son. He played God, and now he has to be judged. We're prayerful. We're going to keep praying, and we want all those other mothers who have lost children to get into this fight too. That's what kept us going. Just keep putting positive stuff in the atmosphere. That's what Linda said. Like I said, she's a really well-spoken person, and out of all the homicides that happened in 2015, this was the most noteworthy because of Linda Wilder Bryan and her history with the Chatham County government. But in other news, slightly better news, on Monday, January the 30th, there actually was attempted armed robbery where two guys tried to rob the armed Brinks Truck on the south side off of Truman Parkway. Well, before Truman Parkway, but on Abercorn. I believe they tried to stick them up behind this storage place that's on the south side. I don't know if it's Bob's Storage. I don't know. It might be another name for that one. But anyways, the Brinks Truck armed guards, they actually seen these two guys running up and trying to rob them. But actually, how the story goes, one guy, not the armed robber, but one Brinks officer shot both of them, and the suspects has been identified as Gregory Player 32 and Joshua Scott 21. They're both facing charges of aggravated assault with intent to rob, criminal attempt at hijacking a motor vehicle, and criminal attempt at armed robbery. They actually, when they caught these guys, one of them ran to a nearby apartment complex, and minutes later the second suspect showed up at the hospital and was taken into custody because they know that this was the guy that was the robber. Now, yet again, glad they got. I mean, why would you even rob an armed Brinks truck? I mean, those guys come packing. I mean, they are willing to defend, their lives for that. I mean, I believe there was a story that happened last year where somebody tried to rob an armed Brinks truck and they got shot themselves. So, I mean, that's a dangerous lick if y'all trying to rob something. I mean, even if after the robbery, they'll still try to shoot at you. I mean, they're not stopping to shoot. So, very dangerous. But, hey, I'm glad they got these guys off the street. I mean, I'm no judge, but who knows how much time they're going to serve off this one. Now, in other news, on Saturday, January the 28th, there actually was a drug bust performed by Savannah Chatham Counter Narcotics Team, where they arrested 42-year-old Tamar Toomey Young of Savannah. Toomey is his nickname. Where they found powder and crack cocaine, marijuana, and more than $5,000 within his home. He was charged with trafficking cocaine, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, and other felony drug charges. And the drug bust was on the 4700 block of Fairfax Drive. And as you can see in the pictures, how much stuff that he had. But there's also was another drug bust that happened on January the 26th that resulted in a seizure of crystal meth, 3 firearms, and items consisted with the manufacturing of counterfeit U.S. money and more than $1,100 in true U.S. currency that was also seized. The people that were arrested was 37-year-old Nina Schumann Vickery and 51-year-old Charles Teton Yates. Also, another person arrested, the actual homeowner, 34-year-old Crawford Vickery IV. He was a convicted felon, by the way, and he was charged with 3 counts of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as forgery in the 2nd degree. Now, this home is on the 200 block of Windsor Road. I've rode through Windsor in plenty of my videos if you've never seen how Windsor looks like. But all 3 are being held in Chatham County Detention Center and are expected to be arraigned in Chatham County Court. And I'm gonna show you in the picture what they've been caught with as well. CNT last year, I believe they did maybe over 50 drug busts. CNT working. I don't know how they're getting these tips. I mean, more than likely somebody's talking in the area. If they see a lot of traffic coming in and out, if they see, just suspicious activity, it's nothing for a neighbor to call and say, hey, we see something a little bit fishy over there. Can you send a police officer to check it out? And there you go. There's your investigation. There's your 6-month investigation. There's your year-long investigation to see if you got drugs, see if you're selling. But I mean, yeah, it's a real dangerous game, and you're playing with your freedom at all times, doing that. But that's all for right now. I know this one kind of went a little bit long. There's just been a lot of information that I just wanted to give out in updates. But if any other updates for any other case happens, I will let y'all know as well. Also, follow me on Twitter, Savannah Seaport News. That's my name on there. And also, you can follow me on Facebook, just in case if you want to reach out to me and ask me about a homicide or anything in particular, or just anything that's happening in Savannah. If you want to reach out to me, I know sometimes I might not do a video fast enough. My work schedule is kind of getting to me. So if you feel like you just have something urgent you need to ask me, hey, hit me up on Twitter or Facebook. I actually respond to people. But that's all for right now. It's Pac-Man Jones with Savannah Seaport News, and I'm out.